With the SRC Aspirants. This is a collaboration between Knust Obuasi Media and Campus News 360. Here, we'll talk to the aspirants in this year's SRC General Election as we try to get their thoughts on what they want to share with the various electorates and what they bring on board to the SRC administration that will be next. The previous ones have done their part. The new ones need to also live up to standards, or at least surpass them, right? Setting the ball rolling. I want to acknowledge our sponsor, Vision Digital Prints, whose kind courtesy is supporting us in this live stream or this program, Time with the SRC Aspirant. Let me set the ball rolling once again with the Financial Secretary Aspirants, Ishmael. At this point, I would want Ishmael to introduce himself. Ishmael, may you know who you are and a little bit of your background too as well.
All right, so thank you very much for this question. My name is Inusa Ishmael, Financial AI. Yeah, I'm a third-year business student on Obuasi campus, and I'm aspiring to be our next SRC Financial Secretary. Actually, I'm an Obuasi base. I'm from Obuasi here, and I had my basic education also here in Obuasi Senior High Technical School. So thank you very much. And I further describe myself as a hardworking person, as someone who is more passionate about leadership, as someone who is more interested in management of resources. Thank you very much.
I think you are jumping the horses, but I would want to know your background. You said you went to Obuasi SecTech, right?
Yes, please.
If I stand to be corrected, but he says that's it. But we are talking about your background here. What's your background here in Knust Obuasi campus? Which department are you from? Which class? So that we can probably root you out.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much for this particular clarification. Like I said earlier, I'm a third-year business student on Obuasi campus. I'm from the Department of Logistics, yeah. So I'm from the Logistics Department, and I'm here to aspire for SRC Financial Secretary. Thank you very much.
In your earlier submission, I heard you say financial AI. What is an AI doing in our election? By the way, are you an AI?
All right, thank you very much for this particular one. AI actually is the abbreviation of my name, Adams Ishmael Inusa. So the first letters. So AI.
Adam Inusa Ishmael. Financial AI.
Yes, please.
Moving away from that was on a lighter note, by the way, but I want to find out what motivated you to join the race to become the Financial Secretary of this very campus's SRC, and what qualities do you bring on board to that effect?
All right, so thank you very much for this one as well. As they say, service to man is service to God. So I'm here as Adams Inusa Ishmael, or Financial AI, to serve my people to their interest with the past years, the expertise and then the experience that I've gained when it comes to management of finances. I think it makes me outstanding and also the best fit for this particular portfolio. And I can say that is what is motivating me to actually aspire for this portfolio. So I'm here to serve my good people of Obuasi campus. Thank you very much.
Yet again, you left out the qualities that you bring on board. Can we take those? What qualities do you bring to the table?
All right, so when you talk about the qualities, I've like I mentioned earlier, I have some experience when it comes to management of finance.
Financial management?
Yes, please.
Experience from where, to be precise?
All right, so experience as in leadership, I've served a lot of previous leadership portfolios.
A privy to that?
Yeah. Currently, I'm the GIMSA Vice President for Obuasi. I think it's a denomination. And then also, for the past years, I've been working with an insurance company as a part-time job as a student. Bringing up all this together, it makes me the right person, and also it's from the experiences that I've gained from such activities or such experiences makes me the best fit for this particular portfolio.
Okay, so earlier on, our aspirants here mentioned GIMSA. For those of you who may be oblivious of what GIMSA stands for, I think that's Ghana Muslim Students Association.
Yes, please.
Am I right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for the clarification on that. Yeah. Moving on, do you know your predecessors, the ones who were in the seats that you are aspiring to take? Any of them, or do you know a number of them? Do you know them?
All right, so thank you very much. I think I know of the one who just the one who left before the one on
the one before the incumbent. The one before the incumbent.
So
who is he?
He is in the person of Nicholas Afum.
Okay,
yeah, and then the incumbent one is Edem Nyanedu. Yeah.
Okay,
financial assignment to be precise.
Okay, so the build up to that question, I particularly wanted to be sure you are not just, you just didn't wake up one day and you just want to take over the reins of our finances by storm. So I wanted to be sure you've been following the financial journey of our campus, right? We are 6 years running. And we should mean business by this time, right?
Yeah.
Viewers, you bear with me. Those of you who are here to join, this is Time with the SRC Aspirants. It's happening live on YouTube at Knust Obuasi campus. Join us, subscribe to the channel, like this very video, share your thoughts. Later at the latter part, I'll read some of your comments out. Let us hear you in the comment section so that when I see that question that is striking a nerve, I'll read it out loud so that our aspirants can answer them. Continuing, you said you know your predecessors, right?
Yeah.
What is that one thing that they've been doing that you think is probably right? That other thing that they were doing that you think, well, it wasn't the best. Don't mention names in order not to victimize anybody, but you can just state what you think was wrong. So you'll be able to know your focus, taking over power from such people who have been in the place of power.
All right, so thank you very much. I think this is quite
an elaborate question.
Yes,
right?
please.
Okay.
I think let me go more into that. For assessing my predecessors, I would say they've done a massive job. Yeah. So I think there was a little that they could have, or they should have added up.
They could have done better.
Yes, which I think, if I'm given the mandate, I'm going to do best. Yeah. So what I realized was that they delayed in their budgeting. Yes. And then also, I don't know, like I heard that there's difficulties when it comes to the approving of the budget. So in some cases or instances, you see they end up organizing a few programs instead of doing much for our students. So I think that is what I've identified from them, which I'm praying that if hope and so behold, if I'm in office, I'm going to look into that. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you mentioned the budget approval process. Do you have any idea how a budget is approved in the SRC here?
All right, so thank you very much for this question. I think when it comes to the budgeting, it goes into a lot. First, you have to forecast and then also predict. It comes with a prediction of the number of expected students that you are expected to budget on. Yeah, I think you see the SRC has a due that we normally take from our students, and it is through this dues that we draw the budget. So I think you have to get the number of students, and then you get the amount each student is contributing. You try to multiply that with the number of students to get your amount that you are going to work with. Then I think you go ahead to draw your budget. So thank you very much. This is just the basic here.
Now, I'm more interested in the very little details, you know. I'm very, very, very keen on those little details. You mentioned SRC dues.
Yes.
How much is the SRC dues?
All right, so thank you very much. I think currently speaking, the SRC dues, per head or per student is contributing 36 cedis, 75 pesos. Yes, please, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
You also stand to be corrected.
Yes.
I'm the only one allowed to stand to be corrected, but I hope it is right for the benefit of his very sake. But you mentioned the dues, and you mentioned the process that it goes through to draw the budget. That's that dues amount multiplied by the number of students on campus.
Yes, please.
Then you know the amount of money that you realize and what you will be spending within the year under review.
Yes,
now, a little bit of mathematics into that, and you will get, well, quite some numbers. So those of you are always like, we don't care about the SRC, what not. It's your money going in there some way, somehow, you know?
Yeah.
And that 36 cities that you just mentioned, multiply that into some thousands, and we'll be realizing many more thousands that will be spent.
Exactly.
Having spoken about that, I learned there's another detail about this SRC dues that we need to probably put across a disclaimer. Don't just go and do the rough calculations and you realize the amount that the SRC will spend. The SRC does something. It is called retention. Do you know about this?
Yes, please. I know of retention.
Brief us, our viewers, about that whole retention thing. What is it about?
All right, so thank you very much for this one. I think we are using this as just a way of getting our people's understanding. Not just that we are here to open up things.
So we are educating them.
Yes,
this for education purposes.
Yes.
Let me put it across again. We are not here to divulge anything that we aren't supposed to divulge. Some of these things that we are discussing here are matters of public knowledge that people who take interest in the matters of the SRC should be aware of, right?
Yes.
So no problem. We can talk about the retention.
Okay.
Or there's something to hide there.
No, please.
Okay.
All right. So thank you very much. Like you mentioned earlier, I'm here to elaborate on the retention aspect. And then the retention is an amount that is retained for whenever there is a budget or there is a budget drawn for an academic year, part of the money is left for the next academic year. So the retention is, 25% of the amount that you get from, which is the 36 to the 75 pesos. When you multiply that with the number of students you are trying to budget on, then you now come and strike it 25%. So you keep that for the next administration. And that is what is the retention.
The retention. Thank you very much on that. From the horse's own mouth. He's coming for that position. And I thought I'll put his thoughts on that to see whether he's up to task. The judgment is in your hands. And for those of you who have rushed to go and pick your calculators and start calculating the SRC's money, another disclaimer, let me burst your bubble. This very amount, they have to calculate VAT on it as well.
It's a lot of.
Now, those of you who are calculating the 25% as against the number of students, I've bested your bubble.
Yeah.
Now, you too, go and find the VAT amount, calculate on that amount, and we need to know the actual amount of money that the SRC spent out of your money that you'll be contributing by way of dues. Now, let me take the conversation a little further, right?
Yeah.
We are trying to be a little sharp with all this, but your predecessors have left a legacy.
Yes.
I think if my memory serves me right, some of them left behind programs like financial literacy, they left behind financial states that are very enviable. Some of them, right? I can't say that of all of them, but at least from where I sit, I think some of them did well with leaving a legacy. Yeah. What legacy is Adam Inusa Ishmael going to leave behind?
All right, so thank you very much for this particular one. I think Adams Inusa Ishmael, Financial AI, I'm also a peer counselor as well. So for the past years, I've been with my students, and I think I'm here to serve them with what they are ready for. So I'm here to bring on board something special for my students. For the past years, I've realized that my predecessors they've really done a lot, but I'm also here to initiate something different which is going to benefit our students' body a lot. So I've been with the students and I know what they want. So I have something special, like I said, for them for this time, if I'm elected into office. Okay, so I'll go into that. I think I have a fund that I'm trying to introduce, and this fund is going to be very, very effective, and then also it's going to be good when it comes to when it comes to pardon me.
You are pardoned. No, proceed.
Yeah, so pardon me, listeners. When it comes to office or when it comes to initiative, or when we are able to approve, that is going to help us a lot. And the fund is a special one, like I said. Before that, let me go on to say that we have various funds on campus. We have the KBN, the SRC budget, and other stuff. The reason why I'm trying to bring on board this fund is that last year, I think I was a beneficiary for a fund that was introduced by the Dean of Students. I think he said
the Dean's Media Assistance Program. I think I'll bear with you on that.
Yes.
But you benefited from that. Yes, up on that. We are running out of time.
Yeah. Right. So I benefited from that. So I'm trying to also, bring on board a special one, which I call Emergency Financial Assistance Fund. Yeah. So I think that is what I'm bringing on board as my key key initiative. Yeah.
So right from the coffers of the SRC Financial Secretary, the next one, as you are seeking to be, there will be a financial assistance fund. The name again?
Emergency Financial Assistance
Emergency Financial Assistance Fund. So they have to call 911 or because emergency, that's the emergency number, right?
Yeah.
But that's just on the lighter note. We still want to zoom into our final leg on this this very show. What I would want to find out, since you are contesting, you care about the campus.
Yes, please.
The campus is embattled with challenges. Not to go into any rough details, but what challenge do you recall that you can share so that people like me who doubt your intentions will know you really care about the campus?
Yeah. All right, so thank you very much for this one. I think one key challenge that me myself personally have identified on campus is that when it comes to ventilation in our various lecture halls, they are very, very bad, or let me say, sorry for using the word bad, but they need to be looked into. Yeah, that is the key, and then also the key
problem that you've identified that you would address. That's right. If you've identified it, then I hope you're addressing it.
Yes. So so I'm trying to advocate for, an address like you said.
We don't like advocacy. You have the money. You are supposed to be the chief spending officer, right?
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, so you should be able to address it. He's saying the ventilation within our lecture rooms are not good, so he's going to make it more conducive for learning.
Yes.
But we are all here to learn,
yes,
and when he does that, I think that would be good. My very final question before we wrap up: what's your mission and vision? Tie that to your campaign and any other detail, mission, vision. Then we'll wrap up on this conversation.
So thank you very much. Like you said, as you can see from my mantra, it states my vision. It states my mission. My mission that I'm here to serve my people is to be strategic in the management of our resources, be an accountable person, and then also be responsible in management of all affairs of the SRC, and then also finally to ensure transparency. And then also my vision is to ensure that we have a conducive, steady environment for all students on campus. Thank you very much for this.
Okay, so mission, vision, and that translates into SMART as seen on his communication pieces.
Yes.
I've been speaking with Adam Inusa Ishmael, the financial secretary hopeful for this year's SRC General Election. Well, I hope you are convinced. Other than that, when you catch him in person, you ask him the rest of the questions. If you also want to join this conversation, do that via the comments section. Do also subscribe to our channel. The name of the channel or the username is Knust Obuasi Campus. And as I said earlier, this is a collaboration with Campus News 360, proudly brought to you kind courtesy Vision Digital Print. I'm out with Inusa Ishmael.
Okay. Is it clear?
Welcome back to Time with the SRC Aspirants. This is Knust Obuasi Media, a collaboration with Campus News 360, brought to you kind courtesy Vision Digital Prints. Moving on to the very next session, my next set of guests are very, very, very important. And if I mention the number of times you can count them, is because how pivotal the role they play in our student body politic. We are moving on to the SRC presidential candidates. Their predecessors have done their best. Like some of them, let me not just say all of them, but going down memory lane, I can look into a few of the achievements of some of the past SRC presidents. We can talk about the sitting area by Emmanuel Fosu. We can talk about SRC office, SRC food bank facility, and even the recently opened one, or yet to be opened one, I beg your pardon, the SRC study area, right? SRC study area. So it means that they've set the bar quite high for anybody who is picking up from them. So today, I sit with the SRC presidential candidates, asking them how high they're going to raise the bar. Starting off, let me introduce you to my guest, Raphael. Kindly introduce yourself and let us know you better.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I'm the person of Raphael Isaka, an aspirant for the SRC president for Knust Obuasi campus. Talking about my background, a student or a young boy born in this country, presented with poverty and submerged with corruption, with visions to take over the world, where I attended Maoli Senior High School, proceeded to Knust Obuasi campus, and as I sit here, a second-year materials engineering student. And
yeah, so that's a brief, in brevity, what you need to know about Raphael Isaka, as he rightly mentioned. He goes with the name Facelift, and at this point in time, I'm inundated. What is Facelift?
okay, the facelift you've all been hearing about is nothing but just a movement, a revitalization movement where we are to rebrand our SRC, where we are to rebuild our SRC to listen to our voices, to make sure that each and every student truly get the university experience before they deserve. And this movement is not just my political slogan or a campaign anthem, but it's a call to action that involves all the students in Knust Obuasi campus to come together and take ownership of their student experience and demand better.
Moving on, the facelift. I think we have a bit of more clarity on that. And the whole idea of face, I'm like, whose face are we lifting? Where exactly? What are the specifics?
We are lifting.
Are we lifting in terms of face? Can we, like in a second or two, can we look into those two before we proceed?
We are lifting the face of our SRC. We are giving the SRC a new face.
A new face.
A new face that will make sure that all the student needs are brought to book.
Okay. And as you heard in my introduction, your predecessors have set the bar pretty high. I hope you know that.
Yes,
can you recall any of the predecessors, any of them that you know that you think really did well, like, or maybe did something that you think could have done better, or in general, a panoramic view of whatever that it is?
I came to meet Emmanuel Fosu, our predecessors, where I saw some of the commendable things they've done, and I think they deserve the applause. Be it the sitting area we all enjoy now, be it the food bank or other things we all see, and other empowerment programs they've been organizing.
Okay, so those are some of the few things that you know from the predecessors. But somebody may ask, Raphael Isaka, what made him? What was that thing that drove him to have the intention of contesting for SRC president, what would that thing be?
I think the motivation, right?
Yeah.
My motivation stems from looking around to see Obuasi students not getting the promise as university students in Kenya's Obuasi campus, where I personally faced it last semester, where my own classmate failed to upload his or her assignment due to Wi-Fi connectivity, where he lost a lot of marks and it went back to affect his grade. And from that moment, I said, it's time we rise. It's time we come together to give our SRC that new hope that will make sure that all these little things are being sorted out, and then we all be free at all.
Okay, so if I get you right, your classmate wasn't able to upload due to connectivity issues, and you would take it as a personal initiative to ensure connectivity is improved.
Yes,
okay, so we'll move on with the conversation to look at your areas of focus, right? The campus has a plethora of challenges. Right now, I want to ask you to mention them, but you mention them later. But let me know your focus as the SRC president that you want to become. What are your key areas of focus, or any thematic areas that you would want to cover as an SRC president?
For those who know me very well, I keep on saying this, that if not for anything, Obuasi campus cannot develop in infrastructure or building ones at least. Our student welfare and well-being should be denied in such a way that we have conducive environment to thrive in for academic success and other staff to enhance student living on campus. Be it our transportation systems, our Wi-Fi connectivity, our cafeteria, and many more.
Okay, so a bit on that, I think cafeteria is very important.
Yes.
We don't have a place where, I think an eatery and a cafeteria, that sounds like a good idea. But let me move on. Kenya's Obuasi has a table. It has a table.
Okay.
I'm building up a question. What skills or qualities do you bring to this table?
Okay, with the skills and qualities, I'm known for a resilience work and problem-solving skills in such a way that, despite the fact I'm not yet the SRC president, but with the things I put in place and what I've started doing has come to be a legacy to stay, where our reference to the recent days I've communicated with the students to realize they have a problem in coming back to school after vacation, and then I did organize a busing system for it, and this has come to stay with us.
You'll be able to organize a busing system to be able to bring students from their homes to campus. Wow, that's commendable. Like, how are you able to undertake such a massive project?
For the first place, we have to get a website, What 5K, and after building that website, trust issues and other problems. So we didn't get much people because of trust issues. I mean, for the first time,
people weren't sure whether it's a platform to trust.
Yes, and why I'm saying this is, after all this, some students from other places paid and they were not enough for the VIP bar, so we have to refund their money back to them.
Okay, so some were able to contribute towards the commuting to campus.
Some actually paid, but because the bus was not filled to our expectation, we will send their money back to them.
What do you think caused that? Like, apart from the trust issue that you mentioned earlier, why wasn't the bus full?
I think low publicity as well.
Low publicity?
Yes.
And you think the reins of the SRC presidency can be able to propel such an initiative further?
Yes, I think if you put in more effort, in such a way, we make it a general something which everyone will come to realize that this is something that has come to stay, and it's of a high honesty and not just any fallacy. Okay,
so a Raphael SRC administration will be able to pick you right from wherever that you go to spend your vacation back to campus. Well, let's see how it goes. He's in the reins or the ranks for the SRC presidency, and that is what one of the things he has to offer. Moving on, we're going to find out. Basically, I've mentioned the legacy of some of the predecessors. If, in case you missed out on them, let me reiterate. I mentioned the SRC office, SRC food bank room. There's a room where we put all the food items there. Somebody did it. I think Stephen Aban did it. Somebody too did study area, the one that recently was completed. And another one, the sitting area. Some did some other things that probably I can't recollect right now. What would be your legacy, Isaka?
Isaka's legacy will just be simple and powerful. I want to be remembered as the SRC president who turned ideas into impact in such a way that students will be happy and will stand somewhere and boast of saying I attended Knust Obuasi campus. Such a way that people will have access to all the things we can think of making student life better on campus.
Okay, so basically the general well-being of students will be your legacy.
Yes, sir.
And that will be championed via what vehicle? You know, when you have a drive, there should be a vehicle. A driver without a vehicle is not a driver, you know. So that thing that would be championed at the end of the day, that would ensure the general well-being of our entire student populace. What would be that vehicle?
That vehicle is will be making sure that all the problems denying us the university experience are being sorted out. Be it a general problem of realized through the interaction with the student. One major problem, the busing system, where some will have to stand in the buses from here to Kumasi on Fridays for their practical, which is very bad. Actually, these are services we all pay for. And at the end of the day, we realize the services we pay for are now playing hide and seek with us. And it's high time we embrace ourselves from the ground ups and revitalize this SRC to make sure all these things are brought to book.
Okay, so from his experience, students stand in buses commuting from Knust Obuasi campus to Knust to Kumasi campus. And he says during his administration, that thing will not happen. We hope if he happens to be able to grab the mantle of power, he's able to do that, as he says. Like, we hold him by his words. You know, that's why we are here, for moments of accountability. The playback will be there on YouTube for you to always go back. So this one, you know, they explain tire, right? Let me go a little informal on this, but delving right into my formal interview, I would want to know, you care about the campus, right? I would want to believe you really care about the campus, Mr. Isaka. And if you really do care, what are those bottlenecks? If I'm talking about bottlenecks, those difficulties that the campus are embattled. Not go into any grave details, probably some petty things that you think are really the problems here, and how you would solve them, apart from the ones that you've already mentioned.
Okay. One major problem I've also realized through my personal interaction with the student body is the hostel policies. That does not give an atom of respect for each and every one of us here as adult that we are. We realize that most of the hostels are being programmed in such a way that the facilities in there are not what the student paying for.
It's not worth what the students are paying for. They are not getting value for money.
Yes. And I realize some hostels are having frequent light out. A hostel too big to have a generator is left there like that.
Without a generator.
I think when a proper administration comes into power and we advocate for proper checkup of the hostels and then a proper laying up on the managers, I think all these things will be brought to book and students
okay.
will really be getting that experience.
Okay, so kind of helping you land on that point. With my role in the SRC, which I proudly always want to mention, I've been serving as the SRC PRO for 3 years, if my memory serves me right? So I know very well the role SRC plays in SRC or student hostel accreditation. In fact, SRC is part of the team that goes around to vet these hostels that our students end up in. Right? Some of the recent administration, I think I was part of the entourage that went around the various hostels to inspect. So if Isaka is sitting here today telling us that they are not having plants, they are not having this, they are not having that, and he happens to get the power and he's not doing that, you exactly know which video to go and play back to his face, right? Thank you very much for knowing the video. We are moving on. What is your mission and vision? Mission as in what you are going to be doing, and what you are going to do, what do you intend to achieve with what you are doing as a vision in the long run?
Fellow students of Knust Obuasi campus, I had a dream. In the dream I saw a vision, and the vision was a mission. A mission is to give our SRC the facelift it deserves. And this facelift does not come as a slogan or a political anthem. It comes with a collective agenda which involves each and every one of us coming together to reshape our SRC, to touch every facet of our needs and make sure that the campus strives in inclusivity, a transformative and student satisfaction where students can be equipped, stand somewhere and boast that this is the real Knust Obuasi campus.
Okay, so I think production hasn't given me any time I left, so I can go a little further. Isaka, You just met a student on campus and you want to tell the person something, something that will probably convince the person to vote for you. What would that be?
I think I will let them know what we are all going through. As a student that I am now, I think if you want to be frank with ourselves,
Proceed, please.
we all go through these same struggles day in, day out. Sit in the same classrooms, trek down from our hostels back to campus, and swear just to be told we are late. And if you want to be frank with ourselves, realize that these are the day in activities denying of the student experience, and it's high time we embrace ourselves from the ground up. It's high time we realize that it's time for change.
It's time for change. For better for our students. Okay.
I know we all go to church and we understand the fact that faith without work is dead. And so if you all want change to happen, I don't think we should sit idle and expect someone from Kumasi or nowhere to come and fix them. We embrace ourselves, take action, and then we fight for the future we all deserve.
Okay, so let me go into a slippery ground right now. There's how do they even call it? A subliminal battle between engineering and business school when it comes to SRC race, elections to be precise, where if business wins this year, the next year business school wants to win, and if business wins, engineering wants to win. Like there's that whole back and forth. Obia person really be like anybody, each of those two giants. But for a bit of context, we also have health sciences and other departments or other faculties here on Knust Obuasi campus. But the major ones, as in terms of numbers, so nobody should feel offended if I didn't mention their department. But the engineering and business school beef. Currently, we have an engineering SRC president. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So, what do you think? What do you think? You are better leaders, or you are better this? You bring something special. What engineering touch do you bring to the SRC that they should trust it into the hands of another engineering SRC president?
I would say leadership is not by affiliation or where you come from or whatever. It's by vision.
It's by vision.
And so, whenever you are voting people into power without vision, automatically students know their policies and priorities, and these students are the same students from the business side, engineering and the health side, and they are all aware of the policies they bring on board, and that's what makes them to vote for them into power, and not just personal affiliations.
Okay, my guest is trying to be evasive, but we'll manage. We all know business school and engineering always will be at each other's throat, but not physically. Let me set the record straight. Not physical. Nobody is going to hold anybody by the neck. But he's been evasive, so we'll leave it there and then. But before we go, any final words before we wrap up on this?
I want the students of Knust Obuasi to know that I'm not just soliciting for their vote, but I need their trust and partnership. I'll urge them all to come on board. Let's write this chapter of Knust Obuasi's story. One of progress, one of dignity, and one of empowerment. And together, we'll make Obuasi campus a better place for us all. I want them to know that there is absolutely nothing that is wrong with Obuasi campus that cannot be fixed with what is right. It all starts with our mindset, and this is the time now. If not us, who? And if not now, when? Vote for Isaka as our next SRC president, and together we'll make Knust Obuasi campus a better place.
Thank you very much, Raphael, Isaka. This has been Time with the SRC Aspirants. This is a collaboration between Knust Obuasi Media and Campus News 360 with support from Vision Digital Prints, and we've been bringing to you this live broadcast on our YouTube channel at Knust Obuasi Campus. Do well to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to comment. I'll be reading your comment too, so do well to write something. If that question strikes a nerve, I'll read it out loud and I'll pull Isaka back on my set to come and answer it well and the way that you want for you. This has been Time with the SRC Aspirants. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Time with the SRC Aspirants, a Knust Obuasi media collaboration with Campus News 360, brought to you kind courtesy Vision Digital Print. As I said earlier, the bar for the SRC presidency has been set really high. It's like the echelon is out of the roof. The records are out of the roof. But we are a budding campus 6 years since inception. And if you ask me, we've done well for ourselves, right? So going by this background and the other achievement that the campus has struck over this short period of time it has been in existence, we want to find out the SRC presidential candidate that I have next. What does he have to offer? Where do we go from here, from what we've already experienced? And I have in my company the Honorable Yao Obediabua. But I don't know him as much as beyond the name, right? So I want he from the horse's own mouth. Who is Yao, and what can we know about Yao too?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Campus News 360. Thank you, KNUST Media. My name is Yeboah Obediao. I'm an accounting year 3 student of our dear KNUST Obuasi campus. A student who is passionate about leadership. I am one who is ready to solve problems once I encounter them. I am one who has a listening ear. I am one who is ready to get everybody around me involved in whatsoever we are ready to do as a group. And coming to KNUST Obuasi campus, I was General Rep Year 1 Business School. I moved on to Year 2 to serve as the General Rep as well as the Deputy Speaker of KSBSA Parliament Obuasi. Currently in Year 3, I'm serving as Deputy HOD Accounting, which I resigned some few weeks ago to contest for the SRC presidential race, and also a member of Parliament for the KNUST General Assembly. And through my experiences in all of these positions, I have come face to face with the real issues encountered by students of KNUST Obuasi campus. I have had interactions with them, proposed solutions of which we've executed many, and then we are looking forward for the bigger opportunity, the bigger office, which is the KNUST SRC office president, which Yeboah Obediao, YOY for short, I am aiming for. Thank you very much.
That was quite an impressive profile right there. Very extensive, I must reiterate. But do you like ginger?
Ginger?
Do you like ginger?
Not too much a fan of it.
Hey, because I was coming to say your mother put a lot of it in something for you to eat. Because I want to find out, what gingered you to come for the SRC presidency?
Thank you very much. As I said, I'm going through all these positions that I've held in KNUST Obuasi campus, even coming from my alma mater, Forces Senior High Technical School, Bema Camp. Just listening to the name Bema Camp to tell you how straight it is. And then leadership was instilled in us, not just about academics. And so coming to KNUST Obuasi campus with all these portfolios that I have held, and it showed me one thing, that when we want leadership, we want one who takes action. When we want leadership, we want one who includes everybody. And then coming straight from Year 1, I've come in touch with people that I've had several conversations with. And then coming up for this position, I would say it is not just by a word of mouth or just one day dream. You wake up and you say, I want to aspire for this position. People approach you. People tell you, these are some of the situations we're facing, the portfolio you have it. And then they tell you, look, this is the best place that can solve all these, pardon me please, that can solve all these issues that we are facing. A mouthpiece for the student, Yeboah Obediao. And I want to be the next mouthpiece of KNUST Obuasi campus students, the mouthpiece as the SRC president, the mouthpiece as the student leader, the mouthpiece as their friend.
Okay, so a little bit of a takeaway from what you just said. Growing up from a barracks, right?
Yeah.
Bema Camp to be precise. If my memory serves me right, you've been at this is not your first time being at this.
True.
If anybody has keenly followed the development of our electoral dispensation, you would notice he was a candidate, right? He was a candidate of financial secretary in the XY or just ended SRC General Election, that's 2024.
Yeah.
But apart from the whole old soldier never die vibe that you may have been very conversant with? What was that thing that stood out for you to be like, okay, I've gone for this portfolio, but this time around, let me take it a step further and much higher and aim at the highest office within the SRC? What informed that choice?
Okay, thank you very much. As I said earlier on, it's not just about one person's dream. It's a collaborative teamwork that we are bringing on board. Since the first day I stepped foot in KNUST Obuasi campus, I've been approached by a lot of people, and I've also approached a lot of people speaking about former presidents of KNUST Obuasi campus, Honorable Martin, who when we came here, one was president then, Honorable Emmanuel Fosu, who was president when I was in year 2, and currently our president, Mr. Stephen Akwa, pardon me please. As you said earlier on, I did contest last year. I was financial secretary on the ticket, and then this year I'm going in for president. In every time and dispensation, you take informed decisions by gathering a lot of data, if I want to put it in academic terms, like research work. And then from last year to this year, we've been engaging students, we've been engaging everyone, and then bringing everything into a conclusive decision. We realized that the office we should aim at is the president. You are on top of everything. You are the leader when it comes to all of these things. Last year, contesting gave me an opportunity to know my way about leadership when it comes to the SRC. Though I was serving then in KSB, I learned a lot. But this time it puts me ahead in the SRC, and then I've learned a lot about that, and then that pushed me, that gave me the informed decision that, look, if you want to kill a snake, you cut off the head, and then that is the office of the SRC president, and that is why we are aiming for it.
He's coming right at it, at the highest office where he seeks to cut the snake's head. The snake, dear. That snake, poor snake. But anyway, in my previous submission, I credited the predecessors, SRC presidential predecessors, where I credited the SRC office, the SRC feedback facility to Stephen Aban. I know some of you have started doing the agenda boys, hold it there. I'm now going to credit the rest of the other projects that I mentioned. I mentioned the SRC study area. I think it's currently completed, yet to be commissioned. That was the birth child of Ohemin Jeche Martin, right? And the very administration that I served last before I exited was that of Emmanuel Fosu, and its legacy is the sitting area that we have near the lawn tennis courts or field of the campus. So for those of you who said I mentioned earlier, Stephen, I've done justice to the rest of them, but still in line with that. These people I mentioned, they've left behind the legacy. They've done something that up to today, I mention and I point out to them that they've done this, they've done that, they've done that, right? Yeah. And before I even go, there's another SRC president, Intim Jima Joshua. Okay, credits to him too. Okay, before you come for me. Then, as I said, the legacy that they left behind are very impressive. All the 4 of them, and currently we have another one, Stephen Akwa. What do you want to be remembered for?
Thank you very much. Good credits and credit to all of our predecessors who have given us these monumental projects on KNUST Obuasi campus. We are a young campus, but kudos, God bless you so much for your well-thought decisions and projects you put on KNUST Obuasi campus. Now, coming to the projects that you made mention of, and if you want to talk about leadership and talk about leadership rights, you need to know your way around things before you get into the leadership position. Now, when it comes to KNUST, there are 2 funds that are located to you as an SRC administration. You come to meet your developmental fund, and then you come to meet the dues that students pay, which you use for your programs and then activities. And then speaking about all these monumental programs, we can talk about the study area, which you mentioned, which is completed yet to be commissioned. As I said, I've served in this current administration, and I was in talk with the current president, and then he told me that the sitting area that we have here is coming from the developmental fund, of which the next 2 administrations funds have already been synced into it. just in a way to address the issues and concerns faced by students. Unanimous decision was taken to sink into the project the next 2 administrations funds in order to push it forward. I've been in touch to find out how they came by that decision. By if I would want to leave KNUST Obuasi campus exiting as an SRC president, I want to be remembered as the person who led with inclusivity, one who led with great leadership skills, communication. One problem we've noticed on KNUST Obuasi campus mainly boils down to the point of communication. How communication comes from the SRC to the students, how communications go from the students to the SRC, how programs are organized, how decisions are made. Everybody is involved. That is why we go to the electorates, we go to the fellow students and then ask them to vote for us. And so if I want to be remembered for something, I want to be remembered as that leader who brought everybody on board. The leader who took the decision of everybody in what to do next. The monumental projects are there. In my head, there are hundreds of them I would want to mention to you. But then those are not the decisions I would want to make alone. I want to make those decisions with the various KNUST Obuasi campus students to come up with basic developmental projects. Because there are certain problems we've noticed around, and then in time I would like to share a few with them if permission is given. But I want to be remembered as that guy. Thank you very much.
Okay, so as he said, he wants to be that president who is the listening president. The listening president, I must reiterate, inclusivity, he says. But in his submission, if my memory serves me right, did you say that the next 2 SRC administrations, SRC Developmental Fund, has been sunk into the SRC study area? Did I hear you right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Did I hear you right? Like, yes or no before I proceed?
Yes, and ending with the part, I don't like to be a controversial person. I don't like to be a controversial person, but I would like to clarify on this point. Yeah?
Let's get civil.
Yes, please.
Ask you a particular question.
Okay, please.
You already made your points. I wanted to be sure what I heard before I ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, you served in the current administration, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say you are making excuses.
No.
Or they are making excuses.
Okay.
But sitting here and mentioning something that pertains to them, I'm moved to question you and be their mouthpiece at this point, because as an administration, they are a body.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why you have a general secretary who keeps you informed via minutes.
Yeah.
So you should be aware and be abreast of what you are sharing with us today.
Thank you very much. Yes.
You signed an oath of secrecy.
Yeah.
If you went by the due procedure, you
Yeah.
did that. So if you have this and you're sharing with my audience, then my audience deserves clarity on it. 2 SRC Administration Development Fund is being sunk into a study area project of Martin's study area. That was last 2 administration.
Yes.
But you did accounting 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, I did.
How did the school come about those funds yet unrealized? Because those funds, SRC Developmental Fund, is gotten from the fee components that students pay.
Sure.
So it means that next year, next 2 years, SRC
Are not
Developmental
yet
Fund
in.
fees haven't yet been paid.
Thank you very much.
How did the school realize those monies to be sunk into a project that was supposed to be realized or brought into fruition a year or 2 ago?
Thank you very much. As I said earlier on, this was a meeting that I had with the president, and what he said, yes, that is what I wanted to clarify. And so, as I said earlier on, he said 2 years, and so I beg to differ, asked 2 years time. This is nothing to go about, because we've not gotten to that point. As you dimly clarified, please, we've not gotten to that point. And then we are just trying to say that the monies, the sinking of the monies into this project, we want to know if it is the next 2 years which was communicated, or the previous 2 years. But then the words used probably might be a mistake of the word. And so that is why I asked you to
very smart here.
Opportunity.
You said unequivocally,
Sure.
next 2 administration SRC Development Fund.
Yeah.
That's what struck my interest.
Sure.
Because, mind you, I said I've been doing this SRC PRO thing for well over 3 years.
Very true.
I think I started with Aban's administration, where I was playing a role there.
Yeah.
I became deputy in Martin's administration, and finally the
PRO.
PRO in Emmanuel Fosu's administration. So I have my facts.
Sure.
You know, and I know how some of these funds come about, how they use them. So I was a bit, I needed a little more clarification on that.
Yeah,
but last but not least on that, doesn't mean this administration, the Stephen Akwa administration will do nothing. They are leaving behind nothing.
No.
Because their monies have been sunk.
No. Their monies have been sunk into the project which has pushed it. Because as you said earlier on, there is a project that can be attributed to the former President Martin's time, MOG, which we popularly used to call him. Big ups to you wherever you are watching us today. And so the project was in line. Then the funds that came into it was sunk. But if we could all be honest with ourselves and then be frank, it is this administration that we've seen the life of the project in reality. We've always been seeing the plan of it. Though when it comes to building, it is not just a matter of the physical structure that we have there. It goes with the plan, procurement processes, and all of these things. But their administration is where we see the execution of it. And so we can attribute that to them. Because in first day I was sworn into the General Assembly, SRC Obuasi campus. One of the key things I raised on the floor of Parliament was that, look, if we are going to do something as an administration, we have the projects that has been hanging there for a while now. If there are funds that have been accumulated for a while, why don't we sink it into this project? It is not only my decision.
It was a collective decision by the General Assembly.
No. I said a statement I made on the floor of Parliament, please, sir. And so, if anybody knows me from the General Assembly, SRC Obuasi campus, they can say two things for Yebo Obediao. He is one who likes to make two statements. This is a house of records, and then this is a house of precedent. Whatever we do here today will affect what we do tomorrow. And one type of person I am is one who is related to the lifestyle of this quite famous person. People would have a lot of things to say about him, though he is a musician and a Ghanaian British-born musician, Michael, by the stage name Stormzy. I like him so much. And then one day,
British rapper.
Ghanaian rapper. One day tell people a story about who he was. And when it comes to leadership, I would say I'm a man like Malcolm X. Thank you very much. And so that's it.
Okay, so I don't know if we are going back and forth with this conversation, you'll be implicating yourself. But let me share my two pieces on this. You made a statement that I beg to differ. You said the project came into realization during Akwa's tenure. I beg to differ. The Emmanuel Fosu's sitting area was started, completed, and commissioned during his tenure. Right?
The state SRC
the sitting area located around the lawn tennis, right? The lawn tennis sitting area. It was commissioned under his administration. The only one that we can make reference to is the SRC study area, which was completed in this administration. But do I have a feeling the current administration, through you, are trying to steal the glory of Martin?
Oh, no. You see, that is why I said all thanks to Martin, who brought this perfect idea on board, because it was his administration's time where we came into school fresh. And then Yebo Obediao, I was a general rep then. And then one thing I liked about Martin's administration was communication. And then if there is an SRC program, he phones me up before the program, maybe 2 weeks to the program, and it's like, yo, Yebo, Charlie, we get a program coming on. No, Charlie, inform your people. And so we are not stealing the glory. What I say,
we are sharing the glory. Sharing the spirit.
Sharing the spirit.
Let's wrap up on that. We are out of time, but before we go, I would like to pick your key problem that you've noticed about the campus. And I know you've seen a number of them, but one of them that is dear to your heart that you've seen, and how you want to address it before we go into the lying embers of this interview.
Okay, thank you very much. There are a couple of things we've seen, and then I would like to keep it brief when it comes to this point. As I said, Yebo Obediao or Team YOY is not just an individual coming with the mantra "Spes expectata," which is Latin, which translates to English, the long-awaited hope. We've noticed a couple of things individually, as a group, as a class, as a school, as a department. We can first talk about classrooms. Initially, students used to come to campus every time and then study till the following morning and then go back. But then there was an incident that occurred early January this year.
We don't want to delve into that.
But then we are not just a sitting group. So my team, through Derek from Pong, we took signatories of students and then we petitioned the current SRC president to the dean for the extension of time, because at that time the classrooms were not even open at all. After class, they just shut it and then students had to leave. And so you come and then you find students sitting on the corridors studying, which was very bad. And so we took signatories of students, a petition, added it and sent to the SRC president, which he forwarded to the dean on our behalf. Then we had a time with the dean, raised those concerns, and then the classrooms hours were extended. Thank you very much, Derek from Pong, for leading that.
Kudos to him, and I hope students enjoy those benefits. Before we go, we are out of time. You did business administration. I know you're a business student. You're mentioning your vision. Then we wrap up on this.
Okay, thank you very much. As I said earlier on, an inclusivity man. I am one who is ready to listen to everyone's suggestion. I am one who is ready to bring on board everyone who has a contribution to make, to take Obuasi Campus KNUST from where we find ourselves to the glory days that we all sing and then dream or plan of. And so that is why Spurs Expectata is here for you all. Yeboah Ubediao, YOY for short, accounting year 3 business. And so students should come along with us, walk this path to the SRC we all dream and desire of. Thank you very much.
I was going to ask you about the Spurs Expectata, but you've done justice to it. Your final words, then we go.
Okay. Dear students of KNUST Obuasi Campus, I humbly come to you today seeking your support in the upcoming SRC presidential race. My name is Yeboah Ubediao, YOY for short. I'm an accounting year 3 student, and then I am ready. I am one who is passionate about leadership. I am one who is ready to lead students. I am one who is ready to tackle and solve the problems that we are facing as students of KNUST Obuasi Campus. I want to be the mouthpiece of students, one who carries out the messages of students to management to make sure that all issues or problems encountered by students of KNUST Obuasi Campus are dealt with. Once we can prefer solutions to, we do justice to that. And one that management can do, we take your voices to management and make sure that management gives a listening ear to us. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Yeboah Ubediao, for sharing your time with us. This has been Time with the SRC Aspirants. This is a collaboration between KNUST Obuasi Media and Campus News 360, as has been saying all this while, with support from Vision Digital Prints. Tonight, we've heard from them, we've listened to them. We've been able to pay keen attention to the very details of what they want to offer us as a campus, and I hope by now we are able to appreciate the depth of what they have. And as we delve into resume into the electioneering period, I would want all of us to go to the polls with a clear mind, with a clear vision, choosing a candidate that we know and are well aware will do better than we've seen in previous years. This has been Time with the SRC Aspirants. This is KNUST Obuasi YouTube channel. Do all to subscribe, like this video and comment too. We'll try and read your comments too, as I said, but until then, we are out.